Good morning and good evening, everybody. Welcome in to the OS World Cup 2023. I'm very, very excited today to be bringing you this matchup in the winner bracket. It's going to be Australia versus none other than Poland. This is going to be an absolute banger of a matchup. I'm very, very excited to be here. I'm Mavs. And joining me alongside this cast today, since we don't have any Polish casters on the team, unfortunately, it is going to be another Australian caster. It's going to be Vordy. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing great, thank you, Mavs. This is probably the most excited I've been for any OWC match thus far. On one side, we have Poland, the second seed. I think one of the three teams that you'd expect to win the World Cup this year, alongside South Korea and United States, of course. And on the other side, you have the underdogs, Australia, the boys from down under, who are coming in as 7th seed. You know, not really, I think, a tournament-winning contender to most people, but in my heart, they're up there with the big boys, and I think we're in for a fantastic match with these players, especially with the skill cap of both teams. I'm just keen to see how this goes.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it before. We're at a point in the tournament where we're starting to push into that qualifiers difficulty range. So, you know, looking at those qualifier results is going to be pretty relevant in this matchup. And, you know, we were talking about it. I think Australia, they definitely have enough skill cap on a pool like this, right? Obviously, skill cap's not going to be an issue for either of these teams in this matchup. So it is one of those matchups where it really could go either way, depending on the day, depending on how the players are feeling today. How consistent is Malshevsky going to be? Is he going to be as consistent as he always is? It's what we expect. Can Emrek match him, though, is going to be the question, I think, moving forward, as we are getting into our bans now, and it's going to be Poland to ban first, and instantly they're going to be taking out that speed.
Interesting. I was sort of anticipating a double time to ban. Instead, you can obviously only ban one map from each category that isn't Nomad. So it was obviously going to be that choice between double time 3 and double time 2. They opt to ban the speed instead of the stamina, so clearly just more confident in their stamina roster. It is going to be Australia to ban, and they ban Hidden 2, unsurprisingly. The low AR reading roster on Poland is absolutely fierce. I mean, they had an insane performance on the Nomad 4 last week, which was the Pro Trading 8 Nomad. So, you know, despite some fantastic reading players on the side of Australia, they have to respect Poland's ability to play reading maps. They also banned Nomad 5. Unfortunate to see. Have we seen this map be played yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, the CS8 special is now gone, but that does leave Nomad 2 open for Poland if they want to opt into it. The Pro Trading 8.5 reading Nomad, and I assume, yeah, and then Poland bans the other speed map that they can actually ban, which is Nomad 3.
Yeah, this makes sense. I mean, Australia was always going to ban out that low AR, sort of more gimmicky skill set, although, as we said, it's a bit surprising to not see that Nomad 2 go, instead opting for the AR 9.5 CS8. It's not necessarily a low AR map by any means, but I guess just a bit too uncomfortable for Australia to go into a Poland on. And I mean, we expected Poland to take the speed out, but that's not to say that Poland cannot contest Australia on speed. Even looking at the qualifiers, Poland outscored Australia on both DT2 and DT3. So this Polish roster, I mean, they're no joke on speed either, even though Australia is definitely one of the strongest speed teams in the tourney. But speaking of speed, it's going to be the first pick from Australia, and there it is. We're getting right into this DT2 225 BPM stamina pick.
Yep, dummy, insta-picking Paranoia. I mean, this has been Australia's forte so far in the in the tournament. I think they've played both double time 2s in the prior stages, and they've I think 4-wayed both times. So this team is absolutely proficient at the skill set. But this is going to be the first test because obviously they were up against Chile, which was a very strong team last week, so they know how to play up against tough opponents and still perform. But this is the first match where they're the underdogs in terms of seeding, so this is really where the team's mental is finally going to be tested for the first time. They've performed on the skill set before. We know they can do it again. The question is, can they do it against a team as strong as Poland and, you know, hold their nerves and, you know, perform at that level time and time again? We'll have to see.
Yeah, an interesting statistic to talk about here as well is Australia last week did 4-way the DT2, but of course, then, they didn't 4-way actually, my bad. They had one break right near the end, so it was near a 4-way. They had a 4.5 million team score. And we thought, maybe this would be the top score of the week, but no, Poland actually, they actually four-wayed it themselves and had a 4.73 million team score on the DT2 last week. So a bit of a shocker. Australia's so strong on a map like this, but Poland as well. Like, what is that team score? Almost 4.8 million on the DT2 last week. So this is going to be a close one. And I'm looking a lot at these supporting players. Are they going to be able to make the difference for their teams? We obviously know Emrek and Malashevsky are probably going to perform up to standard, but it's going to be on these supporting players. Speaking of, here we go. Dummy, Secret Box, Emrek, AK, and ZX going up against Sigma2115, which is Malashevsky, Tomash, Rafael, which is Wypan, and Rafis. Here we go.
I think Tomash as well is a name change from Kasia Barwika, if you remember that old username. Yeah, as you mentioned, this is going to be a close one regardless because of how insanely skilled both teams are at this. Rafis going to be the first to drop, but obviously very early on into the map. You can see 225 BPM, very consistent on stamina, but also not too light on the flow aim. You have to have really consistent tapping to make sure you don't note lock out of any of these flow aim patterns.
Yeah, and some of the patterns as we get deeper into the map do start getting quite intensive in these flow sort of aim sections, which we can see here. Malashevsky, the first to break in the lobby and the only one. Tomash also finding a break. Rafis did find a miss early in the map as well, which we didn't quite catch, but it's still the three-way here going strong for Australia. Emrek finding the early reset. And it's looking really good for the Aussies.
It's funny you mentioned Malashevsky and Emrek, the two players you normally expect to perform. Right now, Emrek's the only drop on his team so far. Malashevsky currently the bottom scorer on his team. It just really goes to show how this is a 4v4 for a reason right now, as Rafal does his best to try to hold away the Australians, but right now this three-way is doing so much. Still plenty of time though for Poland to recover if Australia finds any additional breaks, but they're looking so strong right now.
Yeah, this is just, this is stellar stuff from the Aussies right here. They've still got the three-way going strong. Emrek making the big recovery. Poland are doing the best they can though. Malice bringing up that recovery as well as Tomash. Rafis doing his best with the 400 combo, and it's just Rafal. Only one with an FC, and that score lead is already 400k as we start approaching the final third of the map here. It's looking like the Aussies might have enough here to bring it home, bar a absolute disaster.
I would have to agree with you. I think Australia would need to four-way break, like now, and then it's doable, but it's a tough ask from the Australian roster to find a quadruple miss. Over 600k score in the lead, only a quarter of the map left. I think this is just a really solid pick. Maybe a little bit of an underperformance from Poland, just because we know how strong they are on the skill set. They outperformed Australia on the skill set in the qualifiers, I believe, so. And this is around the same star rating as well. But Australia just way more consistent, looking so good on the skill set like they have been in match. And they've passed the 4 million score threshold, and they're looking to take this one in quite dominant fashion for their first pick.
There it is, man. That is a fantastic first pick from the Aussies, almost a 1 million score difference. And Poland's still putting up a very respectable score, especially as we start pushing into these more difficult later stages in the tournament. 3.4 million is nothing to scoff at, but that is a fantastic performance from the Australians there. Dummy, Secret Box, and AKNZX all coming in with the FC. Emrek with a huge recovery. And also props to both Malice and Tomash on the side of Poland there, making the big recovery after those early misses, and as well as Rafal with the FC. But wasn't to be. The breakpoint is not going to occur this early in the matchup. It's going to be 1-0 to Australia.
If you want a close match, if you want a banger, that's exactly how you want to see it play out. But yeah, well done to Poland for recovering. Had Australia not performed to such a high level, that would have been a lot closer than it ended up being. But now it is going to be Poland's first pick. And Poland's picking strategy, other than, Australia, which is likely just going to go straight into double time mechanics to start with, Poland, I think, is going to go for a lot more of those gimmicky reading maps. You still have Nomad 2 open, which is the approach rating 8.5 gimmick reading map, which I think Poland's going to do really well on. You have Free Mod 4 as an option. You have both hidden maps. I think the hidden roster on Poland is absolutely one to be reckoned with. So I think they're going to avoid straight mechanics just because Australia is going to be so comfortable on that. But I think it's going to be those gimmicky maps where Poland's really going to find their edge.
Yeah, I'm expecting a Nomad 2 pick from Poland at some point in this match. Whether or not they want to go into it right now, still to be determined. We will have to wait and see, but obviously that Nomad 2 is, that's going to be a fantastic pick for Poland. I think it's going to be probably one of their strongest in this map pool. But they're going to opt for another good pick. It's going to be the free mod 4, going into that gimmicky rhythm with a little bit of polyrhythm aspect in this one as well. I think this is a pretty good pick for Poland as well, but not something that Australia can't contest on.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely a more contestable pick, but I do think, I think I mentioned this being one of the picks for a reason. 146 BPM plays like an alt map with some polyrhythm in there. I think the big differentiator on this map is going to be those modded players. Who's going to take Hidden, who's going to take Hard Rock. Obviously, at this stage of performance, when you have two really strong teams going up against each other, you need to have your modded players play to a high level. You can't have people sacking score by running the Hidden or the Hard Rock, so we'll have to see who takes what mod. I imagine Malashevsky will take Hard Rock for his team, if I'd had to guess, but could also see Rafal take Hard Rock potentially, and maybe Nahus on the Hidden.
Yeah, so we are going to have Nahus step in. That is the other Sigma. So we've got the double Sigma in the lobby here. Malashevsky in slot 1, Nahus in slot 2. Going to have Rafal staying in for this one. It's, Australia trying to scrounge together their 4-man for this pick. Expecting O/Slash probably to come in. Maybe Sayo. We'll have to see. They've definitely got options for a pick like this. But yeah, the 4th for Poland, I'm a little unsure who it could be. We could possibly see Mustache in here. We could even see Michny. We'll have to see.
Yep, they are thinking. Honestly, I think it's going to be one of those cases where they'll have multiple players who will feel pretty good about playing this map no mod. So, just whoever is feeling good on the day during this match can step into it. We do see a Secret Box coming in for Team Australia. I imagine Secret Box can probably take Hidden on this if he wants. Otherwise, O/Slash will probably take Hidden for his team if he steps in.
We're actually going to be seeing JGLF in instead of O/Slash. I did expect probably O/Slash in over JGLF, but JG in for this one. Yeah, we probably expect Secret Box on that Hidden and Zintex on the Hard Rock, whereas for Poland here,
yeah, Michny stepping in for the No-Mod, makes sense.
Yeah, Michny on the No-Mod. It's going to be probably Malice on the No-Mod, and then Nahus on the Hard Rock, most likely. We'll have to see.
I say Nahus.
No, it's gonna be Malice
on Hidden, makes sense.
Of course.
And then Rafal on Hard Rock. I think Rafal has played some of the Hard Rocks in the past stages for Poland, but this is Poland's first pick. They're looking to respond with a dub of their own. I'll have to see how it goes, but I do think this is going to be something Poland's really comfortable on.
Yeah, of course, something worth mentioning on a map like this is that it is only 1 minute 40 seconds long, so chances for breakpoints on short maps like this are always a little higher. You've got a lot less consistency to deal with, so one small miss on the other team could be enough to pull a lead. As we see a bunch of misses early on, Zintex finding an early reset, as well as Nahus and Rafal. Everyone else holding onto their FCs right now, as Australia actually has the early lead, and don't take that too lightly, because this map, like I said, is a very short, and as you can see, we're already 1/3 of the way through as Australia do manage to take the lead here.
And it's interesting the modded strategy Australia is going for. Michny does find a break. Michny. It's now only Malashevsky with a big combo on the side of Poland, especially with Nahus dropping as well. Box and Emrek on the no-mod still holding in. JGLF on a huge Hidden FC. This combo lead from Australia is absolutely ginormous past the halfway point in the map now. If they can hold on for a bit longer, this could be a breakpoint off rip.
Oh my god, I mean, yeah, Australia getting through all of that. Michny finding another reset. It's only Malashevsky with the recovery combo from Rafal here for Poland, but Australia, the 3-way and going strong. It's only the Hard Rock player to find a miss for them, but there goes JGLF, there goes Malashevsky. There it is. That's a full reset for Poland, and Australia are gonna run away and take this one to the bank. Double FC into the ending of the map. Emrek and a Secret Box, the two titans of the Australian roster here. Box finding a miss at the end. Emrek is there to close things out for the boys. There it is. What a break point. What an unexpected break point. So early in this matchup. 830k on a free mod? That's very unexpected.
That is quite a domineering score lead for Australia to take on Poland's first map. I mean, yeah, if you're Australia, you're feeling pretty good about that. They opted for a more safe mod selection, putting their arguably two strongest and most confident players on the no mods, but still, JGLF with 650k on Hidden, almost matching Malashevsky. Zintex with a very respectable 540k on Hard Rock, beating out Rafal. I mean, I do think that it was a bit of a case of Poland maybe having a little bit of nerves, underperforming a bit notably on the no mods, but Australia, I think, playing that map may be better than most people anticipated. Now they're up 2-0 going into their second pick.
Yeah, the modded players in that map, they're pretty much matching each other evenly across the board. It was just the no-mod player difference on both the no-mod players for both sides there. Pretty much the double FC, near the double FC there for Australia, and it wasn't quite the same there for Poland. So very, very good, a very important breakpoint for the Aussies early on in this one. And now it's their pick, and it's their time to try and consolidate this and make things a 3-0, which is, I mean, it's looking very possible at this stage, but they need a good pick here. They definitely, this is where you try and pick one of your strongest maps. You try and build that 3-0 lead so early in this match. Like, that is a big confidence booster. So we'll have to see what they're going to opt for. They do have a couple options. Still that DT1 open. They did top score the DT1 in the qualifiers. So that's probably what I'm expecting, but we'll see what they're going to go for.
Yeah, I think the DT1, despite being a pretty comfy map both teams are going to be able to play, I do think that just falls into Australia's comfort zone. And you know, with how Poland did play that last free mod 4, maybe they're a little bit shaken, so you can go for something a bit more comfy. They instead go for the double time 4, which I think is also a fair pick. Okay. Honestly, I'd probably rate Australia to have a advantage on this entire DT pool. I think it is by far their best pool to pick into going into Poland in this matchup. Obviously, this map, not really speed heavy, has elements of finger control, 210 BPM, but it's more so focused on just aim control consistency. I think we see Sayo step in for this. I think he's going to love this map. I do think this is going to be a map Australia's going to feel pretty good to play.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty solid pick for Australia, but I don't count Poland out on a map like this whatsoever. We've seen what they're capable of on DTs. Obviously, the 4-way last week on the DT2, those qualifier scores are ridiculously good. So it's not something they are definitely not going to have a chance on, that is for certain. And I think it's also worth mentioning that this map, it can get quite stamina intensive. You've got so much finger control, so much tapping control throughout the map, and it doesn't really let up. It does start to get a little stamina intensive towards the latter half. So we'll see if it comes into play. I don't think either of these teams are going to have struggles with any sorts of stamina, but, you know, it's a little more tapping intensive than I think you would expect from a gimmicky DT in a quarterfinal pool.
Yeah, for sure. I think notably, though, for the players that are in this match playing this this map, they're not going to have necessarily a tapping issue. We have Malashevsky, Nahus, Rafis, and Rafal on the side of Poland up against Box, Sayo, Zintex, and Emrek for Australia. You know, as you mentioned, although Australia is up 2-0, like, Poland is still Poland. At any point, they could find that break point and win their pick, and suddenly the match is evened out. So Australia's got to be on their toes. They have to play at that high level they've been playing so far in this match if they want to hold on to this advantage.
Yeah, here we go, getting onto it early here. Nahus did find a reset very, very early in the map. That one's probably not going to matter. This map is 2 minutes in length. It is still fairly short, but it was about 60 combo in. There's still 7 FCs holding on strong. As you can see, some of these more spaced patterns, they accelerate and decelerate a little bit, can catch you off guard, but everyone holding strong. Rafis actually did find a break. Did not catch that whatsoever. My apologies. So that is going to be a big lead here for Australia early on in the map. There goes Nahus again. Not one of the FCs for Poland, but still a big combo. Still the 4-way for Australia halfway through this map. There goes Malashevsky. It's just Rafal for Poland, and Australia are 4-waying. Sayo finds the break. Secret Box finds the break. It's just Zintex and Emrek to get through the end of that Ki. 1 FC to 2 now. Australia with a firm lead in this map.
Still a solid advantage for Australia, especially on score, already 400k ahead, but they have to hold on to their wits. Zintex and Emrek really need to hold on if they want to secure this map, especially with Rafal still in the combo. Zintex drops! It's now only Rafal up against Emrek on the full combos. If Emrek holds, this should still be the win for Australia, but he needs to hold on. That 400k combo can disappear fast, especially with the recoveries from the side of Poland. Will Emrek find a miss on this double time 4? I don't know if he will.
Yeah, the recovery combos for Poland are a lot stronger than the ones on Australia, so it is definitely banking on Emrek right now. If Emrek is to find a miss, it could fly over with the DT score multiplier, but I think that's enough. We're too late into the map now. Emrek has done it for the boys here. For the Australian team, they take their 3rd point of the match, 3-0, with only a 340k score difference this time around. On a DT pick, that is not that big. You know, you got to take into consideration the score multiplier on something like this too. Definitely a fairly close map, the closest map we've had so far, that is for sure.
And I think it just ended up being that difference, that slider break from Malashevsky. His accuracy was high enough that had he held on to that full combo, it would have been the win for Poland on that double time 4, but just having an uncharacteristic miss and Emmerich ending up with the full combo wins it for his team. And now Australia is up 3-0. They have consolidated that breakpoint going into Poland's second pick. And now Poland has got to start getting a little bit nervous. I don't think this match is unfolding the way they anticipated going into this. They've got to get a point on the board, and I think they have plenty of options where they're still favored. So I think surely, something like the No Mod 2, something like the Hidden 3 is going to look pretty good for them here.
Shout out to Rafal there as well, pulling home the Seoul FC for his team. Matching Emrek on that one, but yeah, the slider break from Malice. I mean, it was very, very tragic. That was the score difference at the end of it all. So great pick there from Australia, and they do consolidate their breakpoint. They make things 3-0, and now they're sitting in a very, very good spot. But Poland do have a lot of good picks left in this pool. I would say probably more strong picks than Australia does, that is for sure. So we'll see where they're going to go. I'm still looking at that No Mod 2. I'm looking at Tech. I'm looking at Alt. They have a lot of different directions they could take this match. The free mod pool is there. They've got options, and they're going to go for No Mod 4. It's going to be one of our Osu originals for the week. Oh man, this map is so cool, man. This is one of my favorite tech maps I've ever seen. Foe did a phenomenal job mapping this one for the US World Cup, and big shout outs to Yuki for the Osu original here. This is a banger. This map is fantastic. I'm very excited to get into this one.
Yeah, that's big praise coming from Mavs. He's the resident tech player for Australia, for WC. So it's big work coming from him. But yeah, I completely agree. This map is absolutely awesome. Song is a banger. Very relentless, difficult tech map. Over 7 stars. Just a good amount of cut doubles, cut streams, slider aim. This is obviously something Poland's going to be really strong on, notably with Malashevsky being one of the premier tech players in the entire world. But with how this match has been unfolding, I mean, Australia surprised us on the free mod 4 with maybe a bit of an underperformance from Poland and an overperformance from Australia. They can do it again here. It is going to spell doom for Poland. I think we see O/Slash coming in for his first map. Very, very strong tech player for Team Australia, making his debut in this insane matchup. We'll have to see, can Poland get their first point on the board? I think they desperately need it. They do not want this match to go 4-0.
Yeah, O/Slash stepping in for the first time this match. The resident 4WC carry for the country. And this year, he's been looking quite good on the tech maps this tournament, stepping in here. And we're going to have Michny as well, stepping in for their first map. Also, just a tech and ult beast coming in for the tech map.
I feel like we saw Michny in 3 mod 4.
Did we?
Am I right?
I actually don't remember. I do not remember if we saw Michny in 3 mod 4 or not.
We did.
Michny coming in regardless for the tech yet again. And, I mean, one thing worth noting, the difference here with the free mod 4 in this map, I think this map is probably a lot harder. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
And we don't have comfort mod options. I do favor Poland on most no mod maps. I mean, as long as we don't see an underperformance here from the Polish roster, I'm expecting them to take this one. But, of course, we saw what happened on free mod 4. Australia, they absolutely have a shot on something like this. When you've got players like Secret Rocks on your team, you've got players like Emmerich on your team, it is definitely doable. But they're going to be going up against some beasts themselves. Of course, Malashevsky, Nahus, Michny, Rafal. So, here we go, getting into this No Mod 4. Osu original, custom map by Foe. I'm very excited for this one.
Nobody missing on that first slider stream. It goes to show the caliber of players in this lobby. Go through the first Ki. No misses so far, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, I'm very surprised no one missed on that first kind of space pattern. Everyone getting through that. No, Michny finds the first break, but Box Wall 3 misses for Australia. Box, Australia, Emmerich, all gone. Another drop for Poland. Rafal is down. It's the Sigmas on the top left there. Malashevsky and Nahus holding on for Poland up against the one and only Sayo for Team Australia. 2 FCs to 1 as we get into this really cool overlap section. I really love this part of the map.
Yeah, I think the pattern they missed on is one of the most brutal patterns in the map. It's like a 1/3 aim section with slider aim that's absolutely brutal to read, and that catches out 3 of the Aussies, but it's still Sayo holding the line up against the double Sigma duo Dream Team. I mean, At this point, Sayo needs to hold on if Australia has a chance at taking this break point. But I don't know, with Malashevsky and Nahus on the other side, I don't know if you really want to count on them missing on a tech map.
Especially Malashevsky. I don't know if you ever want to count on Malashevsky missing on a tech map, but we will have to see. Nahus doing his damn best as well to hold on to this significant combo, the significant FC as well. The accuracies from those players is crazy right now as Emrek does find a reset, Rafal finds one. Not the combos that matter, but they are going to be trades nonetheless. Sayo still holding on. There goes Nahus. 1 FC to 1 now, but Fox no such drop. The big Malashevsky found a miss.
Malashevsky's gone. It's just
Is there
Sayo.
a possibility for Sayo? There's a quarter of the map remaining. It's 150,000 points. There's no combos besides Sayo and Michny right now. Sayo's holding the FC. It might be enough.
I don't know. I think Michny might need to break if he wants to overcome the score lead. I don't think he's enough. Michny just find a break.
Michny breaks. Sayo misses. Oh my gosh. That was a thread right there. 85,000 points. Michny finding that miss at the very end almost was enough. Would that have been enough if Sayo FC?
I don't know.
971,000 he would have needed on a 98% FC. I don't think it would have been enough.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it would have been just shy of taking the lead there, but it would have been damn close. It would have been about 15k difference, I think. So silver lining there for Australia. Wouldn't have mattered if Sayo closed the FC, but wow, a damn good team performance from Poland. 3 scores above 600k is really, really good stuff on a map as difficult as that, but still an incredible performance from the Aussies. Sayo putting in the work. Just wasn't quite enough. That was a hype pick, Morty.
Yeah, that was...
Oh my god.
Love to see it end up being that close, but now Australia picking immediately the double time one. And I think as you mentioned, as this pool gets deeper, as it starts thinning out, I think the advantage picks for Australia don't start looking as good as they have so far. I think this is the last pick that I want to say I feel really, really confident about the Australian roster, just because of their comfort. 270 BPM, AR 10.5, comfy aim, comfy tapping. This is something you anticipate Australia being able to four-way on a relatively consistent basis if they can hold on to their nerves. Honestly, Poland will probably be able to do something similar, but with how we saw the double time to end up going, I want to say this favors Australia, but we don't know. Poland's locked in after that No Mod 4. We'll see if they can respond with a breakpoint.
Yeah, and of course we have Bartek coming in, a fantastic DT aim player coming in for the Polish side, and they need a breakpoint here. They need to find a breakpoint at some point in this match, just try and equalize things against Australia. But on a DT1, with how Australia's looked on the DTs so far today, and as well as the fact that they did top score the DT1 in qualifiers, they are possibly one of the, if not the strongest DT1 teams in the whole tournament. So we'll see. We'll see if they can carry that through to this DT1. Anything can happen, especially on an aim pick that's over 3 minutes long. We'll have to see, as this is a bit of a classic. Very old style DT1 here.
Did my eyes deceive me? Oh yeah, I was about to say, for a second, was there going to be no MREC for a DT1? I was about to...
that would be...
Yeah. I was about to question that, but yeah, MREC stepping in for Dummy. So we see Sigma 2115, we see Malashevsky, Nahus, Bartek, and Rafal on the side of Poland. I think this is Bartek's first map.
Yes,
for the match. Yep, Bartek coming in, the Poland old school gamer coming in for the double time one. Can he be the difference for his team to take their first break point, or will Australia play like we know they can play on the skill set? We'll have to see.
That's something worth mentioning. Is Bartek obviously is a very old player, so a map like this, pretty sort of like old style patterns, it's going to be probably very comfortable for him, especially someone who's already very good at DT aim in general. A map like this could favor the older players for sure. Obviously, Australia, they've got a much more modern roster, a lot more zoomers on on their side. Yeah, that's for certain.
The average age of this Australian lobby is quite low.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. It's going to be Malashevsky, Nahus, Bartek, Rafal going up against AKNZX, Secret Box, Intex, and MREC here on the DT1. Can Poland get the break point here and now? Or are they going to have to look for it later on in the match? Secret Box finds a break. Bartek finds the miss. 3 FCs to 3 though early on. It is an even trade.
I do mention this map is obviously old school, lots of geometric patterns, but still relatively comfy with the 10.3. I think if you can read AR 10.3, you're going to feel pretty good on most of these patterns. We do see a break from Rafal. It's now, once again, only the double Sigma squad on the side of Poland with those combos up against the 3 from Team Australia with the recovery from Box. But Emret finds another break! Do not expect that player out of every single player in the lobby to find the break. It's now 2-2. Now it's looking pretty even. It's going to be a chance for Poland to take this if they can hold. And there's the break, there's the pressure. AK and ZX and Zintex, the 2 newcomers for the Australian roster, with the only ones with the FCs.
Emmerich finding like a slider break on nothing there as well, which is what kind of shocked me. Very, very unlucky miss for him. But it's going to even things out. 2 FCs to 2, as Poland do have the bigger supporting combos due to that later miss from Emret. So it is going to very, very slowly inch its way towards Poland, but not with that miss from Bartek. That was their second biggest supporting combo, and that is now down, as Australia now are going to take the combo lead and will start to take more score into their favor, but still 2 FCs to 2. Any drops on the FCs here could spell disaster for either side, and there it is, Zintex. Zintex is the one who is, but Nahus on the slow slider! On the slow slider, Nahus finds the slider break. That is tragedy for Poland.
That's the second time I've seen that, but Box drops as well.
Secret Box is down 2, as now the combo lead is very slightly in Poland's favor, and it is all on the shoulders of AK and ZX to convert this pick for the Aussies.
That's the second time I think I've seen. I think Paper Candle broke on that slider taken the exact same way in the Norway-China match. But now, as you mentioned, the score lead is still just in slight favor of Poland. But with that drop from Bartek, it's going to be pretty evened out. It's AK and ZX matching Malashevsky, Emrek almost matching Rafal. I think with the accuracy from AK and ZX, if he can hold on to that combo, and if so can Emrek, they should be able to take this.
Yeah, the accuracy. Look at the active there between AK and ZX and Malashevsky. I mean, that was 80k difference just from that accuracy alone. That was a very, very close one, and you gotta be heartbroken there for Nahus to find the slider break on that slow slider, costing the map. That is just a very, very heartbreaking moment for sure. I definitely feel for the guy. That absolutely sucks.
That is, yeah.
Break like that, but I mean, there it is. That was such a close point. Poland's chance there to take a break point. They've still got another chance to take one, but they're going to need to take... Oh, man. It's 4-1 to the Aussies. I mean, who would have expected the match to go this way? I don't think Poland did, that's for sure, as it's now back over to Poland's pick, and they absolutely need to take this point.
You know, if there's anything Poland can look forward to now after those double times have been exhausted, I do think the picks for Australia at this point in the match get a little bit more dicey. I think the Hard Rocks are a lot more contested, especially with Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock 3 not being your standard Hard Rock picks, Hard Rock 2 really being the only mechanics Hard Rock. And, you know, the hidden pool, I don't think you really want to go into with Australia. I think free mod and no mod's going to be looking pretty good for Poland. So despite Poland being down 3 points, you know, into their third pick, I still think they have a good shot at taking these things around. But they have to start now. They really, really want to win their own pick. They really don't want to drop a break point. And with how close the No Mod 4 was, you know, you can't count Australia out even on skill sets that Poland should be favored on.
Yeah, there is one map that's standing out to me, and if we don't see Poland pick the No Mod 2 here, I am going to go ahead and say they probably just aren't comfortable on it. But regardless, I mean, the No Mod 2, of course, is a low AR reading map. It is not a stream map for anyone unaware watching the stream.
What?
It's not going to be the No Mod 2. So it just goes to show Poland mustn't be comfortable on it. I still would think that they would win it regardless of if they were comfortable on it or not against Australia. I don't think Australia is going to be super comfortable on that map like that No Mod 2. But they're going to opt for the No Mod 1. It's going to be the aim consistency, probably one of the more generic No Mod 1s we've had all tournament.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty hard one. Big spacing in this map. A lot of consistency, 208 BPM. We'll have to see who's got the nerves of steel for this one as Mastash comes in for the No Mod 1 here. Poland with their full roster already in the lobby.
This is a little bit of a surprising one to me. No Mod 1 generally feels like a coin flippy slot, especially because the past 2 No Mod 1s we've had in this tournament have not been your standard No Mod 1. We obviously had the first No Mod 1 in the round of 32, which was sort of an alty BPM. the Nomad 1 in the round of 16 mold had a good amount of streams and it was more of a consistency all-arounder map. But this map is just pure aim juice, spaced aim. I think we might actually see JG Left step in for this one. I know he's really confident on aim-heavy maps like this, but a little bit of a surprising one. I would expect Poland to lean more into those gimmickier skill sets where they could really find a comfort advantage. As you mentioned, maybe they're just not really feeling the Nomad 2 right now, but they instead go for a raw mechanics map, which I think is something Australia's going to feel pretty good to play, so a little bit of a dicey pick to go into when you're down 4-1.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning, Poland did win the Nomad 1 in qualifiers by a whopping 600,000, which is nothing to scoff at. So Poland, on paper, having the advantage in this Nomad 1, but of course it's Nomad 1, and as we said, probably one of the most generic ones we've had all tourney, so you don't get much more coin flippy than this. This Nomad 1, joining JGLF is going to be Zintek, Sayo, and Emmerich going up against this four-man from Poland. It's going to be Malashevsky, Nahus, Mustache, and Rafal in for this one. This is going to be the deciding factor of the match, I think. I mean, if Poland aren't able to take this Nomad 1, it is going to be 4 consecutive match points for Australia, and that's not the position you want to be in. I do think Poland, they still have really good picks after this. If this wants to go their way, they've still got really good picks. They've got Hidden 3 left. They could still opt for that No Mod 2. They've got Free Mod 2. I think they've got really good picks left in the pool, but can the match get to that point is my question. Because if Australia do take this one, it's not going to be looking good.
Yeah, obviously Australia has that point advantage. They can take a few losses and still be evened out into this match. And this is a scary one to pretty much have to win if you're Poland. If you lose this, Australia's up 5-1 going into the next pick, and you're in thin ice at that point. But obviously, No Mod 1, as you mentioned, Poland, I think, is just so good on this entire No Mod category. I think the comfort they have from their players is astonishing. And obviously, qualifier is the only real standard No Mod 1 of the tournament so far. Poland had a significant advantage. We do see Zintex with the first drop as we're getting into the Ki. Now 4-3 in favor of Poland, and we'll have to see how long they can hold these combos for.
Yeah, the spacing in this map is no joke. It does start to pick up quite significantly. Now we're getting caught off on that slow slider as we move into the first Ki now. This one's kind of a banger, I'm not gonna lie. There goes Mustache for Poland finding the drop. There goes Nahus as well. Zintex finding another break for Australia. The one you would want to miss if you're cheering for the Aussies here, as he was the one without the FC. And there goes Rafal as well. It's only Malashevsky up against 3 FCs for Australia out of the first Ki. JGLF misses on air though. Misses on nothing after that first Ki.
But Emmerich breaks as well. It's now once again only Sayo to match Malashevsky. I think this is similar to how the No Mod 4 went. And now Malashevsky and Sayo both on the SSs, but I do think the supporting combos are going to slightly favor Poland for now, so that score lead is going to start swinging back if Malashevsky and the rest of the team can hold. JGLF dropping again, matched by Rafal. It's gonna be a close one. Of the two players, Sayo and Malashevsky, which one can hold the FCs? Will it be both of them?
Some of these patterns look so brutal, man. Malashevsky and Sayo just tearing this map up. The combo advantage slightly favoring Poland here. But the score lead is not advancing for Poland. Things are staying even here. 30k for the lead for Poland, as everything is on the shoulders of both Malashevsky and Sayo. There goes Malashevsky. Misses on the 1/3. Sayo now, the sole FC in the lobby. A quarter of the map remaining. The score flickers and he misses. Oh my gosh, Emmerich finds a break. It's just Zintex versus Mustache now.
The chance was there for Sayo to heroically take this point for his team, but Nahu's breaking. It's now Zintex on the recovery, JGLF as well with the 300. It's just Mustache on the team of Poland with any significant combo. I think it's still just slightly favored for Australia if they can hold on to these combos, but Emmerich breaking and Sayo breaking as well. That does not help. But there's Zintex and JGLF.
Oh
the combos are gone. It's just the 2 Sigmas from the team of Poland, and they're going to take this back in a moment. Can Poland do it?
Close. 5k in the ending, and it's gonna be enough for Poland. The combos at the end. Malashevsky and Nahus with the combos through to the ending. No one on Australia able to hold on. 25k, and that is another extraordinarily close pick from Poland. Both of their picks so far have been so damn close, but they take them nonetheless. That was a roller coaster of a No Mod 1, one of the most exciting
Oh
No
my
Mod 1s I've
God.
ever watched. Wow, an enormous effort there from Sayo, but Malashevsky matching him and matching him well. Definitely, that was a ridiculously close one. Look at the consistency from the Aussies, 3 500Ks on the board. But Poland, I mean, just slightly better with that score from Moustache. The 600-something K unanswered from Australia. Well, that's what they needed, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is definitely what you want if you're a Poland fan. Poland really, really wanted that pick to start evening things out. And now Poland is in a pretty good spot. If Australia picks a map here and Poland is able to break point it, Poland's going to be 3-4 going into their next pick, and then they can make it 4-4. At that point, the match would be evened out. So here's Poland's chance. At this point, no DT picks left for Australia. They're going to have to lean into a different skill set. What are they going to go for here? I think Hard Rock 2 is maybe an option, but obviously after losing on an aim pick, going into another aim pick is a little bit scary, but Hard Rock 2, precision pick, a little bit different. I do think Australia has a pretty good precision aim roster. We'll have to see what they lean into here. I think Free Mod 1 also might lean into Australia's mechanics strength, but they go for Free Mod 2, so quite of a different pick. A very flow aim heavy, low BPM flow aim map. We'll have to see what they go for with the modded players here. I'm quite interested to see.
Free Mod 2 is unexpected, I won't lie. I was expecting maybe a Free Mod 3, maybe they dip into those streams, try and keep things in the tapping realm. But no, they're going to go for Free Mod 2, and I'm not going to lie, I was expecting this to be a Poland pick. It is just constant streams and constant cut patterns, but it's only 160 BPM. I mean, no one in this lobby is going to have... It's entirely a finger control and tapping control map. It's not in any way, shape, or form going to test actual tapping ability in terms of stamina. So, yeah, this was what I was expecting Poland to pick, but it's going to be Australia opting for it. So I'm curious to see what the mods are going to look like. I don't expect any overmods on a map like this. Hidden on this map is no joke. The map does get quite a bit more difficult, especially if you're not like a comfort hidden player. You can find misses on a map like this where there's so many accelerating patterns, decelerating patterns, a lot of cut patterns. So curious to see what the mod situation is going to look like. I'm not expecting an overmod from either side.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is not a map you really want to overmod. Australia is obviously really, really strong at flowing, but as you mentioned, this isn't really your standard no mod 2, a traditional no mod 2 type stream map, completely focused on flowing and cuts rather than just pure stamina. So I do think this is something that Poland is going to feel pretty good to play. I do expect to see maybe Malashevsky on the hidden and Nahus or Rafal to take the Hard Rock. Probably Rafal to take the Hard Rock if it's anything like the Free Mod 4. But on the side of Australia, I imagine we see Box on the hidden, and probably Zintex on the Hard Rock, and maybe just keep Emrek and Dummy on the No-Mods.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely what I'm expecting. You want your carry player, being Emrek, to take that No-Mod. Dummy as well has always been a consistent No-Mod player for the free mods in the past. And it makes sense as well to see probably the same mods from Poland, but no, Moustache on the Hard Rock.
Yeah, we obviously know what Moustache can do on Hard Rock Floim. He has plenty of extremely strong solo scores on the skill set. I think normally expect to see Moustache on no mod maps, but I think Hard Rock Floim is his forte.
Yeah, so getting into this one, of course, Malashevsky on the hidden, to be expected. Zintex finding an early break, and yeah, I'm expecting struggles probably from the Hard Rock players at some point in this match. We'll have to see if they can prove me wrong, though. Zintex did find an early break on the Hard Rock, and he was the only one to find a break so far in this map. So we're in for about 3 minutes of patterns like this, and nothing but this, because this map does not let up for a moment. Rafal finds a break. Zintex again unable to hold any sort of combo so far. So we are 3 FCs to 3, but there goes Moustache. As I mentioned, the Hard Rock players not able to hold the combos. Zintex is finding more and more breaks, but it's 2 FCs now to 3 in favor of Australia, as the score lead is going to slowly head over in their direction. But Zintex struggling this much is not going to do them any favors.
Yeah, fortunately for Zintex, Moustache also dropped his full combo, so that Hard Rock FC won't be complete. The Hard Rock FC on the side of Poland isn't there to completely wipe out. Zintex nice, but Dummy breaking on the no mod on this most securest of mods in the match is going to give advantage for Poland now with that massive recovery from Rafal. And it's still the double Sigma up against Emmerich and Box. Box on the hidden FC, matching Malashevsky. I believe it is Poland favored now with that break from Dummy, so it's going to start swinging back, but halfway through the map now, breaks here are really going to make an impact.
Yeah, one of the hidden players matching each other there, as well as a no-mod player matching each other. 1FC on both of those mods for either side, but there goes Zintex again, struggling a lot, and that is going to favor Poland. Zintex finds another break. Rafal with this huge recovery is going to pull this score lead. There goes Massage, though. As we said, these Hard Rock players definitely struggling on this map. This extra supporting combo from Rafal here, especially with that miss from Dummy, but there goes Malashevsky. That is a big drop for Poland, as Australia now have the double FC, but only a slight combo advantage due to this recovery from Rafal.
Yep, Australia needs to hold on to this double FC if they want to take the Zintex right now. Because of his accuracy, he's actually outperforming Mustache, but Rafal outdoing Dummy with that break from Malashevsky on the hidden. To be fair, it is on the hidden, but Bok still holding onto that massive hidden FC, but that's a scary one to have to hold on to. Emmerich on the no mod, hopefully you can rely on him to hold. This is gone! No FCs left for Poland, it's just Rafal in the recovery, but Australia still has 2 uncontested FCs, and if they can hold on for a little bit longer going into this ending, I think they'll have it. Box does find a break, but it's still Emmerich. As long as Emmerich can hold on, he'll beat out Rafal. Rafal's recovery, it's going to be close going into the ending.
Emmerich has to hold here, and if he holds, it is going to be enough for the Aussies. Rafal doing his best to pull things back. Dummy finds a reset, but Emmerich, he's done enough for the Australian boys here, hitting that last pattern, as well as Rafal. A valiant effort from Rafal trying to make that recovery. Very, very good stuff from him. The 99.6% one miss, but Emmerich closing out the FC and a secret box to boot with the huge combo through to the ending. Oh man, that was
this match is too much for my heart, man. This is too much. This is way too close on these last few picks. None of these have been one-sided like some of the early picks were. This is just each team narrowly winning, and now Poland is on match point. They have to be very, very precise with their picks here, and they're also going to have to take a break point on Australia's next pick if they want to win this match. We'll have to see what they go for here. I still think No Mod 2 is a good option for them. It's on the table. It's that last low AR reading map that I do think fits into Poland's strengths. We'll have to see if they go for it here.
I think worth mentioning for that map as well, Dummy definitely not having a great run on the no mod. 380k as definitely a low ball run from him. Definitely a bad RNG run, and actually matching Mustache on that Hard Rock, which you expect to have the lowest scores. Of course, that map on Hard Rock, significantly more difficult. Zintex though, got 500k with the Hard Rock, and that was the difference maker. That Hard Rock differential there. Zintex putting up a very, very good score on the Hard Rock, so definitely shout outs to him for that one. And now it's going to be Hard Rock 3. This is what we expected, I think.
Yeah, Hard Rock 3, I think out of all of the Hard Rocks, this is the one I anticipate Poland to pick the most, just because it is pretty much a tech map, obviously with Hard Rock slapped on. Now, I do think the Hard Rock element of this map might be pretty good for certain players on Team Australia who do really like that Hard Rock tech. I think notably I'm thinking of players like AKNZX. Obviously, you're going to expect to see Emmerich for this one again. Maybe Zintex plays this one. Maybe even Sayo potentially. But on the side of Poland, I do think the tech roster in similar nature of the No Mod 4. Obviously, they won that one by a pretty narrow margin, but I do think they have potential to do even better on this skill set. So we'll have to see the lineup for this one.
Yeah, unfortunately there for Dummy on that free mod too. He is 30 years old, so unlucky for you, man. Just unlucky, Dummy. Yeah, this Hard Rock 3, this is, I mean, after the No Mod 4, we expect from Poland, this Hard Rock 3 was like an obvious pick for them. I think they're definitely favored on any tech in general. This Hard Rock 3 should be a fantastic pick. I'm expecting them to take this one. But we've seen how Australia's been playing all match. They have been doing fantastically, probably above a lot of people's expectations on some of these picks. So they are not out of the woodworks just yet. Poland, they still have to convert this. They still have to put up some good scores on the board. Rafal, been playing fantastically this match, in for the Hard Rock 3. So here we go. Actually, Rafal, no, never mind.
I definitely expect to see Rafal for this one, especially if he played some of the free mods Hard Rock. definitely expect to see him play the Hard Rock 3. Obviously, you have the double Sigma special with Malashevsky, Nahus. Michny coming in. Michny, obviously a very strong tech player. On the side of Australia, we have Box O/Zintex and Emrek O/ the resident tech player for Australia. And with how close so many of these Poland's picks have been, I don't think Poland has had a really confident win on one of their picks yet. So this is their first chance, I think, to really get a confident win on the board, not just winning by 20k. I think they'll really need a win like that if they want to turn this around and take this match.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Poland have had many good picks on paper, but just none of them have seemed to have gone their way, like, convincingly. Every point that Poland has won so far has been extremely close. Australia has been within 100k points of taking the breakpoint. So, yeah, this is their chance, as you mentioned, to kind of show some dominance on their skill set that they are definitely favored on paper. I give this one to Poland 9 out of 10 times, but we'll see. Australia has been playing very well today. We're into this Hard Rock 3. It's going to be Malashevsky, Nahus, Michny, and Rafal going up against Box, O/Zintex, and Emrek. Here we go. It's going to be Michny and O/ coming in again for these tech picks.
And Zintex, for a player who's a new pickup to the roster, was relatively unknown in tournaments. As I say that, he does find a break. But is playing a lot of these maps and has been performing to a pretty solid level, but is the first to miss in the lobby. But Rafal and Michny drop as well. It's now 2 FCs on the side of Poland. Once again, it's just those 2 Sigmas to hold the line up against a 3-way from Australia. But if we saw how this turned out before. Those combos from Nahus and Malashevsky, you can count on them. Box does find a break. It's now 2-2, just O/ and Emrek for Team Australia.
Box finding that miss is pretty big, and I feel like I'm getting deja vu because so many times this match we've seen both the Sigmas holding for Poland and a 3-way for Australia. It's just happened so many times. Mind you, the 3-way has dropped now, but still 2 FCs to 2, as the supporting combos are slightly favoring Australia, not anymore with that drop from Zintex, but the accuracy is going to be doing work. But, that accuracy from Michny, 99.47 on the Hard Rock. Definitely good stuff from him. Highest stack in the lobby. It's going to be pulling a little bit of a score lead. Eventually, it will go over to Poland here. It's very slowly heading towards their favor, as the 2 FCs either side are still intact.
I can't imagine a world where all of these full combos retain. The question is, who is going to break O/, one of the newcomers for Australia, on one of the 2 full combos for his team. It's a lot of pressure to put on a new recruit for the team, but can he do it? This would be massive for the team if he can. Emrek as well, the tournament veteran, rank 1 player in the game. The pressure is on these 2 to take what could be Poland's last pick, but obviously you have the 2 Sigmas on the side of Poland as we're in the calm section of the map, yet to enter the second KI.
Yeah, I mean, you've got O/ and Emrek holding, but you've got the 2 Sigmas for Poland, Malashevsky and Nahus, man. Both extremely high-ranked solo players. And, of course, Malashevsky, the tournament beast he is. It's not 2 people that's going to be easy to go up against, as this score lead is slowly going towards Poland. Very slowly. But it's an inch. It's inches difference. It's a 100 combo difference. But there goes O/. A big drop for Australia. Drops the FC as we're into the final sort of 6th of the map here. The double FC still intact for Poland. It's going to be enough to stave off Emrek as Poland do take the lead. It does flicker, and they've got the 2 supporting combos holding strong in this ending section.
This ending is brutal to get to. I think at this point, with the score lead rocketing for Poland, you would need both of these FCs to drop and Emrek to hold. But I just don't know if that's on the table, if that's realistic. If the 2 Sigmas can hold, if Malashevsky and Nahus can carry over the FCs, they will take their 3rd point.
Yep. I think that's probably more than enough now.
Yeah.
So we're into about a sliver of the map remaining. Both the supporting combos drop for Poland, but they've still got the double FC intact. And man, what a performance here from both Malashevsky and Nahus. On the top left, the Sigmas in action, doing Sigma things. There it is from the Polish boys, finally taking a pick in a fairly convincing fashion. Look, it wasn't a huge difference, but definitely more convincing than their last 2 points they did pick up. 240k and the double FC to boot. Very good stuff there from Poland, and 2 good supporting combos.
A really, really solid win for Poland. And now we're down to the 2 potential final picks of the match. This is going to be Australia's last pick, no matter the outcome. If they lose this, it goes to Poland, and then we might potentially get tiebreaker. Otherwise, Australia has the opportunity now to wrap things up, make this go 6-3. They have so far not dropped one of their picks. Currently, the only advantage, I believe, for Australia is that one breakpoint they got early on free mod 4. So can they close things out? They've done pretty well in their picks so far, but as we mentioned before, the picks at this point in the pool are getting pretty dicey.
It's got to be free mod 3. I don't think Australia go anywhere else. I don't think they go this no mod 2. I think that's psychotic. Hidden is definitely in Poland's ballpark. They've got Hard Rock 1 or Hard Rock 2 as an option. I think free mod 3 is going to be their best pick, and yeah, they are going to go for it. Free mod 3, it's going to be the stream map for the week. However, this is something we were talking about before the match started, was this map is AR9, and I think that definitely gives Poland not necessarily an edge over Australia, but it equalizes things a bit. This is not your standard generic no mod 2. If it were, I would give Australia an advantage for it. They did win no mod 2 in qualies. Australia has always been a very good stream team in general, but this one is a very old map. It's AR9, so we'll have to see. I think it definitely equalizes things. Australia, they have the players for it, that's for sure, but so do Poland.
Yeah, and I do think the player to look out for here on Poland is going to be Mustache. I expect to see him run Hard Rock, obviously a very, very strong Hard Rock stream player. We'll have to see if he ends up being the difference maker on the Hard Rock to Hard Rock matchup. Also, another thing to note about this map, because it is OD8, notably on Hidden and No Mod, if you find a break on one of these flowing patterns, you're going to note lock your way down like 50k score potentially, so you have to really be very, very careful about note lock here. You do not want to find those chain misses on those streams. We'll have to see. I expect to see Box again on the Hidden, maybe Zintex again on the Hard Rock if he's feeling it, similar to the free mod 2, which went pretty well for them.
Yeah, I mean, look, Box, the resident hidden stream player, is what he's known for, is those hidden stream scores. So expecting that, and we're of course expecting Malice on the Hidden too. Definitely also just known for that hidden proficiency, that hidden comfort. The Hard Rocks, it's either going to be Rafal or Mustache on that Hard Rock. And as you mentioned, probably going to be Zintex or possibly AKNZX on the Hard Rock for Australia. But yeah, it's probably going to be Zintex with how he's been playing this match on the Hard Rocks. I mean, you've got to have him in.
Do we not see... Maybe we see Sayo on Hidden and not Box? I mean, we obviously did see Sayo play the free mod 1 in the round of 32, and it went pretty well for Sayo, but obviously that was a step lower in terms of difficulty by quite a margin than this map. Still surprised not to see Box in for this one, maybe, but if Sayo's feeling really good on the Hidden, I mean, Sayo so far this match has played extremely well in both cases for No Mod 4 and No Mod 1 almost ended up being the difference to take the breakpoint. It is going to be Sayo on the Hidden, Zintex on the Hard Rock, matched by Mustache on the Hard Rock, and once again Malashevsky on the Hidden for Poland.
Yeah, definitely a surprising swap out there. You would always expect Box to be in on a stream map, especially like he's that stream hidden guy, you know, but it could be a matter of Sayo is playing really well this match, like you said, so let's get him in. He's comfortable on it. Here he goes on the Hidden, Zintex finding an early break. And worth mentioning, the Hard Rock on this map, again, it's going to be something to look out for. The stream patterns in this map with Hard Rock get really spaced. You're looking at, I think it's like 7.7 or 7.8 stars with Hard Rock. It is a near 8-star stream map with Hard Rock in a quarterfinals pool, so it's no joke on the skill cap. I don't blame these players for finding several misses, but early on, Dummy finding a break on the No Mod, and it's going to be 3 FCs for Poland, 2 for Australia, and a near FC for Zintex here.
I believe it is actually 4 FCs for Poland, and that is looking pretty scary for Australia. Obviously, the recovery from Zintex is going to help. That break from Dummy, not ideal. Still a pretty long map, though, just a touch under 4 minutes. But once again, you know, this is one of those scary picks that I do think Poland is going to feel pretty comfy on. You have to really rely on several FCs on a map like this, especially on the no mod categories. I do think as well, if Sayo can hold on the Hidden, that is going to make a big difference. Having a modded FC is always going to be huge on this map. But Mustache still on the Hard Rock FC, an insanely skilled Hard Rock flowing player.
Yeah, I'm looking at these Hard Rock players now. They could be the difference makers because holding a significant combo in this map with Hard Rock is hard to do, and it's very impressive. So both of these Hard Rock players doing work right now, keeping up with the rest of the lobby. Zintex with a very early break, but other than that, it's only Dummy really with any sort of, small combo in the lobby. And he's only 200 behind, but he's got the lowest combo by quite a margin as we now get into another difficult stream section. And this map, it gets progressively more and more difficult. There goes Sayo on the hidden, getting caught off on the space patterns. As I said, it gets harder and harder as the map goes. These patterns are no joke. Dummy misses again. And that's only now 1 FC for Australia and a near FC from Zintex, but Rafal did find a break for Poland. 3 FCs to almost 2 for Australia here.
Scary thing is, one of those FCs for Australia is that Hard Rock FC, and that is a brutal one to have to hold if you want a chance at winning this pick, as we still have Malashevsky on the hidden, FCing Nahus on the Nomad, FCing in Mustache, still on the Hard Rock FC. This is looking really, really good for Poland. This is the break point that they needed this entire match to even the board out, and if they can hold on for a little bit longer, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, big eyes on the Hard Rock players here as we get into the final key eye of the map. Sayo finds a chain miss. There's that note lock we were talking about. And this is where it gets serious. Can the Hard Rock players hold on? I doubt it, but I would be impressed. There go both the Nomad players. Both of the players, both of the Sigmas on Poland are down. Malashevsky and Nahus. Sayo finds another break. It's 2 FCs for Australia and only Mustache on the Hard Rock FC. And that is not the player you want to be holding on to. The only FC, he's gone. Mustache is down. The double FC for Australia into the final quarter of the map. Is it going to be enough? Are they going to do it?
They have enough time. They just need to hold.
They do. It's about a 1/6 of the map remaining. The 2 combos for Australia. It's going. It's going in their favor. 50k. Is it going to be enough for the boys here?
The chain misses.
1700. Oh my god.
A little bit longer. The chain misses from Sayo and Dummy. Slowed it down, but Zintex finds a break. It's now only Emmerich. I don't know if there's enough time left.
It's only Emmerich on the FC. 940k, 950k. It's a 15k difference. 10k difference. Is it going to be enough for the Australian spinner?
Spin to win. Spin to win.
It's a spinner.
It's 4k difference. And
oh my
it's
god.
Not enough.
2,000 points for Poland. Oh my
god.
This is a matchup of the decade. What on earth is happening? A heartbreaking defeat for Australia. Zintex breaking right at the end of the map. That is one for the ages, man. What a map.
Such a good effort from Zintex on the Hard Rock. I mean, both Hard Rock players for both teams performing very, very well, but I mean, just that miss at the very, very end ended up making the difference. I think some of the note lock chain misses that I mentioned on the OD8 ended up deleting some of the score for Sayo and Dummy, and that ended up making more than enough of that 2k difference. And now Poland has evened out the breakpoints. It's now the final pick of the match, and this is Poland's chance to take this to tiebreaker. They're calling a timeout. They're taking a breather, thinking about their pick. Nomad 2 still on the board. We've talked about this map quite a lot. You obviously still have the hiddens open in the pool. And yeah, I think all of the players in the lobby just wanna take a quick 5 to just catch their breath after that.
I think I need to take a quick 5, bro. That was unbelievable, man. This is a fantastic match. What a treat. I've hit the god RNG so far in OWC with these matches. I've been getting so many good matches to cast. This is so awesome, man. What a match so far. Poland now, they've taken a timeout here, and they're gonna take a quick breather. I'm sure everyone's gonna need it. And what are they going to go for is the question. I'm looking at something like the hidden 3. Obviously the Nomad 2 is still there. The fact that they haven't picked it yet leads me to believe they just don't want to pick it at all. Both teams just staying well away from the Nomad 2. So the only options here in my eyes is probably going to be the hidden 3, the hidden 1, possibly the Hard Rock 1. I don't think Poland go anywhere else. Free Mod 1 is there, but the Nomad 1 was extremely close. And I think it's worth mentioning, 3 of Poland's points so far in this match have been within like 70 or 80k score. Like,
I think even closer. I think within like 20k, I want to say.
It's been ridiculous, like how close 3 of the points are that they have taken this match. So it would be, honestly, at this point in the match, it would be heartbreak for Australia to lose after 3 points being that close. But, I mean, prior to this match, we all expected Poland to come out on top. Now things are looking a bit different as Australia. They've just looked like the better team in this matchup.
Yeah, I think overall Australia's played a little bit more consistent. But obviously, it doesn't matter how much you win by. All it matters is that you win the pick. You could win by a million score or one. It does not make a difference. And Poland is going to have to think long and hard about their pick here. And you know, I think Hard Rock 1 is not an option we've talked about much, but considering how Hard Rock 3 went, it was their most convincing win so far of the match. It's the 1 point they won that had a margin, a good bit above 200k. They look really, really good on it. Hard Rock 1 as well, not your traditional Hard Rock pick. They could go for it if they want to pick into, some weird gimmicky-ish Hard Rocks. But other than that, I still think it's up to No Mod 2 or Hidden 3. But about to make their decision.
I'm expecting a No Mod 2, Hidden 3, or Hidden 1 at the very least. I just don't think it'll be No Mod 2 because they haven't picked it yet. So in my eyes, it's probably one of the hiddens, but it doesn't mean the Hard Rock 1 is out of the question because they did win that Hard Rock 3. The Hard Rock 1 is not, yep, there it is. Hard Rock 1, it's not a normal Hard Rock 1. This is not your traditional aim consistency Hard Rock 1. This is probably one of the, if not the hardest map in the pool. It is just, it's everything. This map is your jack of all trades Hard Rock map. You've got tech patterns, you've got ult patterns, you've got high velocity sliders, you've got like jump scare sliders out of nowhere, a little bit of reading in here too. It is definitely just, if you're a player who loves slapping Hard Rock on everything you play, you're gonna excel on a map like this. But this map is no joke. 500k on this is a great score.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this might be one of the hardest maps in the pool. This is probably one of the maps you expect to see the lowest team score. Even a team score of 2 million would honestly be pretty fantastic. That would be in 500k average. That's how insanely difficult this map is. And honestly, as you mentioned, this being a jack of all trades, mixed bag type of map, kind of makes sense here because if you're Poland, your pathway to winning this match is winning this pick and then winning Tiebreaker. And Tiebreaker as well is one of those mixed skill sets, all-around maps. So I do think this is a good strat for Poland. Warm up on the Tiebreaker by picking this Hard Rock 1. And if they can win this one, it's going to be, I think they're going to have the momentum going into Tiebreaker.
Yeah, and with how the TB is this week, it is fairly tech-oriented. I actually favor Poland on the TB, just because so far in the match, we've seen them win the No Mod 4, we've seen them win the Hard Rock 3. I definitely favor Poland on that tiebreaker, so this is where Australia need to end it, and they need to end it now. We'll have to see. Australia are also taking a timeout, it seems.
Oh my God.
As, you know what I reckon's happening? Emrek, have you played the map? No. Emrek,
no,
you need to play the map. So that's my guess. I reckon Australia's timing out so Emrek can see some of these patterns in here. Complete guess though, but it's just a funny scenario that I would expect to happen for the Australian boys. We'll see, just because some of the patterns here are not sight readable, that's for sure. This map, it's just not very sight readable. Some of the patterns here, that's jump scare sliders coming in out of nowhere. It's difficult. It's definitely difficult to hold good combos, especially if you're sight reading, you're not going to get a good score. So
yeah.
While Australia here figure out their 4-man, Poland as well, probably hopping out of the lobby to just get warm in it as well as the timeout ticks.
I think this is definitely a very practice-heavy map. This is a map you could sight read 200k and work your way up to a 500k if you're a very strong player. But this is by no means, even if you're a player of MREC level caliber, I don't think you're really sight reading this map and putting up that much of a score. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait for this second timeout. Both players, I think maybe we can see both teams practicing in solo, warming up on the patterns. Honestly,
yeah,
this is a fair map to have to warm up, especially with the nerves, the pressure riding on this. This is for tiebreaker or for the win, depending on which team you're on. So all of the stakes are here.
Yeah, this is this match has just been it's been a nail biter so far. What a fantastic way to kick off our Sunday block of matches. This match so far, it couldn't get any closer. I mean, prove me wrong. I dare the gods to prove me wrong and make this match closer, but timeout still ticking, so
Theoretically, you could have nothing but breakpoints on one score, but realistically, yeah, I think I agree. I don't think you really get matches this close in the OS World Cup, but I'm just glad to be here when the matches do happen, and they turn out like this.
Absolutely. As we now get into the final 60 seconds here. Fair, as the timeout was ticking there, everyone was kind of backed out of the lobby, just playing the map, which is extremely fair. Both teams do get one timeout, so Fair able to use it as they please. So we now start getting everyone back in the lobby here in this final sort of 40 seconds on the timer. Here we go, full roster in for Poland. Mustache, Malashevsky, Zintex. Oh, not Zintex, that's Australian player. Mustache, Malashevsky, Rafal, still missing their fourth. It's going to be Michny, I think.
I assume Michny poked his head in the lobby. Here it is. That is the lineup for Poland to make the last-ditch effort to keep themselves in this match and get a tiebreaker. On the side of Australia, we have Sayo, Zintex, O/Slash, and Emrek. Oh boy, this is for all the marbles.
Yeah. Going up against Mustache, Malashevsky, Michny, and Rafal, and we're not going to be seeing Nahusin for this one. He's pretty much been perma-lobbied almost all match, and he's been performing extremely well alongside Malashevsky in those top two slots, but we're not going to be seeing Nahusin. So here we go. This is for all the marbles, as now the Hard Rock won. And this is to determine whether or not we see a tiebreaker.
And not a great start on the side of Australia. Some early breaks from Zintex and Emrek, maybe just still adjusting. Miss from Rafal as well. But obviously, this isn't just a long map. This is a brutal map. And as Mavs mentioned, any score above 500k is honestly going to be very, very respectable. Let's see how many players can match that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we saw a lot of early breaks. It makes sense. This map is just ridiculous the whole way through. Some of these buzz sliders actually not catching anyone off guard. Sayo finds a break. That's a big miss for Australia. There's Poland. They're just looking way more comfortable so far in this map, but Australia not out of the question. They've still got 3 big combos as we approach the second quarter now. No one getting caught up on any of these sliders. Everyone's looking fairly comfortable.
Still that last FC from O/Slash, but it's gone. That's all of the full combos eviscerated from Team Australia. It's now just those two from Poland, Mustache and Malashevsky, with Michny on a massive, massive recovery. So is Rafal. They're looking so advantaged, so strong early, only 1/3 into this map, but it's already looking the best so far for them in any pick. This is their most convincing start to a map. And Australia has their work cut out for them if they want to take this pick.
Yeah, absolutely. They have to hold, and they have to hold strong, and they're not going to. Sayo finds the miss, but so does Malashevsky. And that is going to favor Australia, as Malashevsky had a much bigger combo. These kick slider jumps just come out of nowhere, and everyone hits them. No one tripping up on those kick sliders. We're into the second half now. As we get to the pause, the players see what they need to do. Emrek and Zintex know what is on the line.
Oh man, those breaks like the leaderboard shows are so nerve-wracking for the players that have the combos. It is a real test of mental.
Oh, sliders.
Zintex missing on the slider technically, but so does Rafal. It's still Mustache and Michny up against Emrek's recovery. But that's still such an advantage for Poland.
Oh, but Michny finds the break! That is a huge one for Poland to lose. O/Slash misses again. It's Emrek versus Mustache right now. Mustache with the slight advantage. O/Slash finding more misses. Sayo matching Malashevsky. Emrek almost matching Mustache. Score lead is not going to move too much as we're into the final quarter, but Poland already have a 250k lead. Mustache is going to have to miss if Australia want any chance of closing this match out early.
And with how Mustache has been looking on the Hard Rock so far in this match, it's tough to say if he'll find a break soon. Malashevsky and Michny do find some breaks, and some of the recovery's gone. It's just for following the recovery for Poland. It's all up to Mustache to hold onto this combo for his team to secure the tiebreaker. Can he do it? Emrek is still lurking in the back, ready to pounce if Mustache breaks. But the score lead's already over 200k. I don't even know if there's enough time.
Yeah, Australia chain missing Mustache. I think he's done it for the Polish roster here. Mustache possibly closing out the FC towards the ending. I think that's enough. It's 260k. Emrek misses. Mustache misses. It doesn't matter. There it is. It's gonna be the tiebreaker.
Oh my
Mustache does
God.
enough to pull his team over the line. And wow, these are some exceptional scores in this lobby. That is a fantastic team performance from Poland. 4 scores, all 4 scores over 500k is insane stuff from them. And Australia with the big score for Emrek, but the supporting scores just not quite enough to match those of Poland.
And now here we are, 5-5. Australia at some point in this match was up 4-1. Poland, however, narrowly winning a couple of picks, now looking a lot more convincing in those last 2 maps. And now we have down Kizan, the tiebreaker. And I think, as you mentioned before, this does feel like a bit of a Poland favored tiebreaker. Can they do this? Can they make the reverse recovery against Australia and take this match? Or will Australia stop them in their tracks and win 6-5? We'll have to see. This is a 5-minute banger of a tiebreaker.
Yeah, Osu original by down, mapped by down, storyboarded by down, I believe hit sounded by him as well. Custom from down here in the OS World Cup quarterfinals. And here it is. This is for it all. This is for everything. Everyone with 6-5 on their pick'ems is biting their nails right now as we prepare for this tiebreaker, man. And this is a pretty heavily tech-oriented TB. And I'm gonna I favor Poland going into this one, but with how Australia's been looking today, anything is possible, and I mean anything. Are we gonna see a big carry performance here, maybe? I don't know. We've got some pretty fierce TB players on the side of Australia. Sayo, Emrek, very, very good tiebreaker players, very consistent. But Poland, you've got Malashevsky, you've got Nahus, who's been popping off all match. So, man, I'm very keen. I'm very excited.
I'm at this point, bust out the popcorn, dude. Just sit back and enjoy. Regardless of the outcome, this is gonna be a good one to watch. As you mentioned, I do think Australia has some really standout tiebreaker players. I think O/ is going to be one of those players you probably expect to see for a tiebreaker like this. We'll have to see Sayo, Box coming in.
Sayo,
I imagine Emrek's coming in. We're going to see Dummy, I think, instead of O/. But on the side of Poland, you obviously have Malashevsky. This is going to be a map he's going to eat up. And you also have Rafal, Michny stepping in, I think, as they think about their 4th player.
Look, I would expect, I would expect Nahus to step in here. Like, he's just been playing too good all match. He's been that one player alongside Malashevsky holding the FC in a lot of different maps and is a big reason to why we're at this tiebreaker right now. So that's to be expected. And here we go. It's going to be Michny, Malashevsky, Nahus, and Rafal going up against Sayo, Box, Dummy, and Emrek here. 3 of the OG Australian players here for the TB. Along with the new blood Sayo, this is going to be a very hyped tiebreaker. You've got 4 Polish players that have been on the roster previously. This is going to be a absolutely ridiculous one. I hope this is close, man. Here we go.
I do hope this is close. Yeah, the Bancho is mentally preparing itself for what's about to happen. I don't even think Bancho is ready, dude. So I just realized I think every single player on Team Australia has won an ANZT before.
That is an interesting statistic. Yeah, you're right. They all have won ANZT at least one time. Looks like we had an abort. Maybe there was an issue.
Abort. Yep.
Be getting back into things, though.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Box DC, possibly.
Oh.
It was right at the start of the map, though, so there is going to be no issues there. Hopefully we can get him back in the lobby. I pray we don't have any issues where,
I don't even think. Yeah, he's back.
He crashed. Okay, cool. All good. Thank God it wasn't like an internet cut or anything like that.
I'm just happy he crashed before the map started, rather than like halfway through. Way better to see that come out early.
Oh, it was his internet. Oh dear. I hope that doesn't happen with map. Here we go. Tiebreaker. Attempt 2. Let's get into it.
This is a very multifaceted skill set map, as you would expect a tiebreaker to be.
Yeah, we've got a lot of aim consistency alongside tech just constantly throughout this map. And as you get towards the end of the map, there is a bit of a speed up section. things start to pick up a little bit. Maybe a section like that, the comfort for Australia can shine through, but I'm expecting the comfort for Poland to be at an all-time high throughout a majority of this map. So you see a lot of these tech patterns already, these high-velocity reverse sliders, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that through this map. But not only is this very tech-intensive, as you see these 1/3 triangle patterns early, not catching anyone off guard, it's also very aim-intensive. So we'll see.
And not even to mention the nerve test for both teams. Poland coming into this match as the favorites. This is their chance to quell any doubt in their roster. And this is Australia's chance to make history with a massive upset.
Oh my
so many
God.
breaks on that first pattern. Michny, Rafal, Sayo, and Dummy all breaking. It's still 2 combos on both teams, but Emrek does find a break. It's now 2-1. Box the only one to hold for his team. That's going to be Poland advantage coming out of the intro into the first hard part.
And there it is again, the 2 Sigmas for Poland, Malashevsky and Nahus, holding strong for the Polish boys here. Rafal finds another reset. Things are going to be firmly in the favor of Poland just because of this double FC. But it is still such early days. We've got over 5 minutes of this as Box, the only FC for Australia, finds the miss. And it's still 2 FCs for Poland. Things are looking very good for them early.
It is looking very, very scary for Australia. You're counting on at least Malashevsky or Nahus to drop at this point, and you need to start building those recoveries. But actually, that miss from Box was Bancho. Never mind, he's still holding.
Oh, it was Bancho.
Box,
Yeah, it was Bancho.
Box still holding with the combo. It's going to keep it close for Australia as Emrek and Dummy hold onto the recoveries. See Michny and Sayo both finding some struggles. Poland still has that 2-way with a double Sigma special.
Yeah, Box actually holding the FC. It was Bancho, so he did not actually miss, which is going to keep things close. But Dummy, that looks like a real miss, and that's a big combo gone for Australia as now, see that score lead very, very slowly creeping its way further and further towards Poland. It is all on the shoulders of Box to hold on to this FC as we approach the halfway point of the map. There goes Malashevsky, the one you don't expect to miss on a tech tiebreaker, is gone. And it's now up to Nahus against Secret Box Emrek matching Rafal, and the supporting combos matching each other too. Dummy finds the miss though, as things are going to stay fairly equalized now as we move into the second half of the map. Malashevsky finds a break. Things are looking even here. But no, there goes Nahus, he's down! Secret Box holding on for the Aussies! Hits the 1/3 as we get into a little bit of free combo. 70k difference, he misses! He misses! He's down, it's Emrek now! Matching Rafal. Sayo finds a break, Michny finds a break. It's only Emrek and Rafal here with a 65k difference. The combo lead slightly in the favor of Australia.
It's just Emrek and Rafal for the respective teams to make any headway into this map. Rafal still holding on, and the pressure is on Australia. Poland still has the score advantage, so if both of these players can hold on through the end, I believe they'll take it. But Australia really wants to find their supporting combos to recover, to support Emrek as he builds up.
Oh man, this section is terrifying. Rafal and Emrek both getting through it, and we're seeing drops from Dummy and Box as well as Nahus. Poland holding onto the extra combo is going to give them a slight lead, but no, Michny finds the break. Sayo almost matching Malashevsky, but that extra little bit of combo from Emrek is going to offset that extra combo Malashevsky has over Sayo, as now Michny finds a bit of a miss there on the stream, and they see the scores. Here it is, a quarter of the TB remaining. Rafal and Emrek all on their shoulders for their respective teams. Malashevsky and Sayo building recoveries. There goes Malashevsky. It's just Rafal and Emrek, and Rafal misses. There it is, Emrek holding on for the Australians. It's 60k, 50k. He's still going for the boys right now. 40k difference. It couldn't get any closer than this as we move into the final little portion of the map. Dummy finds a break, but it's all on Emrek right now, and it's Emrek time.
The power is in his hands to clutch this up for his team. The fate of Australia in the Auss World Cup rests in his hands as the score lead flickers over to Australia, and now he just needs to hold on for a little bit longer as he approaches past the 700k score lead mark. No combos left on the side of Poland. It's just Emrek. Can he do it? Can he clutch up for his team? He's getting it done.
Is going. He's hitting everything. Every 1/3 jump. He's shaking! Emrek is shaking! Would you ever think you would see this in your life? This guy, the #1 player in the world, is shaking right now. He's just done it. the reverse choke on the tiebreaker. Australia have taken down your number 2 seed in Poland. What a match from both of these countries, man. That is one for the ages.
God. Australia beats Poland on tiebreaker in one of the closest matches, maybe the closest match I have ever seen. Emmerich clutching up when it matters most for his team, and Australia does it. They will be moving on in the winners bracket. Oh, what a match, Mavs. What a match.
I am lost for words completely. An exceptional performance from Emmerich on the tiebreaker, and some very consistent all-round scores from the Polish roster. Rafał putting in the work, brings home the one miss 540k, and that is heartbreaking for him. But put in the work, matching Emmerich for so long. That's not a small feat. That's not something that you do on the daily. Rafał, of course, it is Waipan, formerly known as Waipan, for anyone unaware. But that was a crazy TV and a crazy match. Congratulations to your winners. It's going to be Australia, seed number 7, taking down seed number 2 in Poland. That is not something that I think a lot of people had on their pick'ems, and not something that many people were expecting here today. They are going to be advancing on in the winners bracket to go up against, I believe, the winner of the United States, and I forget who the United States are versing. Canada. Yep, the United States and Canada, which is also bound to be a banger match. US Canada in the quarterfinals. But yeah, I mean that's going to be a tough matchup for them next week as well. Poland moving on down to the lower bracket. What a matchup, Morty. I couldn't ask for anything more in a million years. I would not dare ask for a match more of a banger than that one. And yeah, I mean, Poland with a fantastic try at beating Australia, but just narrowly losing on tiebreaker with that clutch up from Emmerich. Oh, but yeah, Poland gonna be moving down to the lower bracket, and they will be going up against the winner of Ukraine and China, I believe. But yeah, of course, Australia moving on in that winner bracket, versing the winner of US Canada, which will be coming up in 7 hours from now at 19 UTC. But man, we're going to have to close things out here, because in 4 minutes, we've got another banger for you. What a matchup. I have to give commiserations to Poland for putting on a show for us, as well as, I mean, congratulations to Australia. That was one of the best matchups I've watched in a while. And yeah, I mean, just big ups to a couple of the players on Poland, specifically, I think Rafał, Nahus, Malashevsky, and Mustache putting up really good scores for the Polish team. But on Australia, man, you got to give shout-outs, of course, to Emmerich. Zintek's all-match performing, extremely well on a lot of hard rock. And, of course, the Secret Box putting up some very respectable scores, too. It was a back-and-forth roller coaster. Australia, they're going to be the victors, man. Any final thoughts on that one, Morty? That was ridiculous.
I am emotionally spent. I am drained. I feel elated, satisfied that the boys were able to do it against all odds. But that's all. I'm just excited to see how that match went exactly as I imagined in my dreams. It's good to see.
Yeah, like that was fantastic. Congratulations yet again to Australia. And of course, Poland are not out of the tournament, and I highly doubt this is the last we're going to see of them. I'm expecting a monster lower bracket run from them. But do not go anywhere, because in 3 minutes time, we've got another banger on our hands. It's going to be the number 1 seed in the tournament, South Korea, going up against the number 8 seed with the return of Bubble Man, which is going to be the UK, and that is going to be in 3 minutes. So do not go anywhere. I am so glad I was able to cast this match alongside you, Bordy, and thank you all for tuning in. I've been Mavs, this has been Bordy, and we will see you guys next time. Stick around for South Korea versus UK in 3 minutes.
See you guys.